Good morning. How are you guys? Are you there somewhere? Somewhere getting water and a towel, or there she is. Okay. So
Hi,
Anne,
Judy. Hi.
Anne is skiing today, so she's not going to be with us. And Val is in Vietnam, so she's not going to be with us. So it is just us. So I want you to take your feet together, stand nice and tall. So purposefully try to lift out of your hips and lift up through your thighs so you're squeezing your butt cheeks, and then bring the arms up and then open them nice and wide. Your palms are going to face the ceiling as you draw them back down. Bring them to heart and do it again. You can look up if you want. So try not to have your weight shift from foot to foot. Try to stay nice and centered and balanced. And we always want to work with long arms. So try your best to get them nice and straight and reaching out as you lower them. We're going to do this one more time. So the more muscle that you bring to the party, the better you're going to get, the more you're going to get out of this. Keep your feet together. If you look at me from the side, I'm squeezing my elbows back. So I feel a real pinch between my shoulder blades. Keep that. Now, open the palms so they face the ceiling and squeeze the elbows towards each other. Hold this, keeping your weight equally balanced in both feet. Give me a little hip hinge forward, nothing crazy big. And then come back up. Just subtle. Just enough that you feel, oh, I guess I need to pull in my belly to make my six-pack muscle support my lower back. Now, the deeper we go, we're going to get into the back of the legs a little bit. So make your fold a little richer, as they say. Keep those elbows up in the back. Don't let gravity take over. And now this time we're going to release the arms and just let them hang. You're halfway down with your upper body, really feeling a lot going on in the back of the legs. Now, from here, I want you to retract the shoulders and then release them. And retract and release. And just repeat that a few more times. Keep your neck long so you haven't dropped your head. Now, keep the shoulders retracted and sweep the arms out to the side. Lots of work for the back of the arms. And then lower back down again. Your legs are straight if you can do it. And we'll just do this a couple more times. You're trying to lift those hands as high as you can, keeping the arms long. Now come back up to standing. Nice. Okay, I'm going to have you step your left foot forward and turn your right foot backwards on an angle. So I want you to look down at both your feet. See if you can get your heels to line up. Now, hands on your waist, you're going to turn. You're not going to be able to turn much, but turn a little, and then bend into this front leg. Trying to get a release in the upper inner part of that right leg. So hopefully you're feeling a little something. Now go back to a straight leg, feel it release. And just repeat that a few times. And if you're not feeling it, maybe take this front foot a little more forward and you'll get there. So let's just do this a couple more times. Okay, now hold the bend in the knee and get onto the toes on your back foot. So you're just flipping around. So now the hips face forward. Bring your hands to heart and sweep them up. So they don't need to connect at the top. More important that they stay nice and long. I want you to feel this hip flexor opening up. Just hold this and breathe. Now to release it, keep the glute tight in the back, but just put a bend into this right leg. You'll feel nothing going on here anymore. And then come back to it. Find it again. and then release it, bend the leg. And one last time. Bring your hands to heart. You're going to step your back foot in. We're going to do the same on the opposite side. So the back foot's on an angle. Take a look at your feet, line them up. Get some good space between them. Line up the heels. Rotate the chest as far as it'll go. Now bend into this knee. And then straighten it. So you're bending this front leg. The right one. And just straighten. And after you've done a few of these, if you can bend the knee more, why not? It's all about increasing flexibility and mobility in the joints. So imagine if you never bend the leg that way, then it's going to be hard to bend. Okay, so now hold this just for a sec. Bring your hands to heart. Come onto that back foot on the toes so your hips face forward. Bring the arms up. Really work your arms. Really do your best here today to always have the arms long and strong. Now, this back knee, we're just going to bend it so we don't feel the tug here anymore. And then come back and find it again. Nice. And bend. And straighten. And do it one more time. Straighten it, bring your hands to heart, step your back foot in. You're going to make a fist, pull the elbows back, widen your feet to the width of the mat, and come down halfway with your upper back. So if you look at me from the side, I'm keeping my back nice and flat and my spine long. And I'm just going to go up and down. I'm pushing the weight into the back of the heels. I'm trying to get a good release there. And I'm trying to wake up my core by pressing your belly button up and into the spine. I want you to do that the whole class today. No matter what moves we're doing, try to hold it in while you breathe. Okay, so hold it down halfway. Release the hands to your knees, just above your knees. So your hands are on your quads. Straighten the legs so they're both straight. Make sure our toes are lined up. Now I want you to bend your right knee and keep the left one straight. And then do the same on the other side. And we're just going to oscillate between the two. Again, you're trying to push the butt back, so we're wading into our heels. A little wake up for the quads, a little work for the core. Make sure you're not dropping your face. Now, I'm going to have you walk those feet together so they're just hip width apart. Slide your hands down your shins. Now you're going to C-curve the spine. You're going into flexion. Let your head go. You're in a full forward fold with your legs straight if you can. So let's try to take 5 big deep breaths into that lower back. So the objective here is to see if your torso can get a little closer to the legs after these 5 breaths. Really take in as much air as you can, puffing out the upper back. We hold a lot of stress and tension in our upper back. So really try to puff it out and breathe, get some blood flow and oxygen there. Maybe when you exhale, your torso is getting a little lower. But it's not about forcing, right? It's just about breathing and enjoying the sensation of being inverted. Okay, we're going to inhale and extend to a flat back. And then we're going to fold forward again. We're going to do that 4 more times. Go at your own pace. Just make sure you breathe.
Okay, on this last one, if you can, get your hands down, step it back, meet me in your plank. We're not going to be here long. We're going to do a nice slow hover. We're going to end up all the way down on the floor with your torso. So lower slow, come on down, release it. And we're going to come into a baby cobra. So your elbows are underneath the shoulders. This is a stretch for your six-pack muscle, but I still want you to engage it. So that means you're trying to pull it in. Now, whenever you're trying to build some flexibility into the low back, it's important to always contract the glutes and the tummy. Okay, let's bring the chest down to the floor, and let's take your hands right by the chest. They're on the floor. Now, use your erector spinae muscle to run along your spine to lift your chest up. Keep your face looking down at the floor, but you can close your eyes. And you're still pulling that belly in. Now release it and re-engage. Lift, squeeze, and release. Lift and squeeze. And release. And lift and squeeze. Nice. Now keep the butt tight and your tummy pulling in. We're going to take our left leg out to the side. So I like to use a towel. However you get there, it doesn't need to look pretty, but take that left knee right out to the side of your mat. Maybe your knee is a little bit behind the hip. Maybe it's in line with the hip, or maybe it's slightly in front. I want you to feel a nice little release in that inner thigh. We're just going to hold it. We're not doing anything fancy with the arms. I'm just going to hold this and breathe a little bit. And if you're more comfortable to put your chest down, that would make you feel better. You can put it down. It's so awkward to get into this position. We're going to stay here for a little bit. Okay, so if we want to amp this up, and it's totally up to you, slide the right elbow forward a little bit so it's way in front of the shoulder, but still on the floor. And then you're just going to take your left hand, reach it under the arm and out to the side as you twist your upper body a little bit. And again, it's not about forcing. It does feel challenging. This is a very advanced stretch, but it's a great way to release the back and the inner thigh. All of these connect. They all connect to one another. Sometimes you feel something somewhere, but it's not that somewhere that the problem is. It's somewhere else. Our bodies are very complex. So if we stretch everything out, we're bound together. So ideally, 30 seconds in this position. I'm going to come out of it slowly. Make sure you're squeezing those glutes. Now this left leg, the easiest way to come back to a straight leg is to just slide it down along the floor using the towel and then lift the leg onto the mat. Reach back, find that towel, and we got to move it over to the other side. Get that knee, the inside of the knee on the towel, slide it forward with both your forearms on the floor. And if it hurts the inside of your knee, you got to make your towel a little thicker. Fold it over. You want to get to a point where you're not tense while you hold this, but you're still working that tummy and those glutes. You know, play up with the angle a little bit. Maybe lift the knee a little higher, maybe take it back a little, maybe move it out a little. Kind of got to go on a little discovery, little venture. Okay, so if we're going to the next level, that left forearm slides out a little bit and the right one tucks under, and you rotate. Maybe that right shoulder gets to the floor, maybe it doesn't. This is something too you can always do in stages. A great way to release the muscles in the back of the arm. You might be feeling a big tug there. Enjoy that. Now take some great big breaths here. You're here for about another 15 seconds. Just breathe. Keep that belly pulling up and into the spine. Carefully bring the arm back. Squeeze the glutes. They protect everything. Slide that right knee back. Lift the leg back onto the mat. Take your chest all the way down to the floor. Bring your hands by your chest. Tuck your toes under. We're going to press it back up to a high plank. And we're going right to a downward dog. You're going to hold this for 5 breaths while you push both heels to the floor. Make sure you can see your arms through your peripheral vision. Just take big, huge breaths. This is where I really like to close my eyes and kind of get into some music. If you're not playing music, it's all about listening to you breathe. Try to keep the legs straight and push those heels to the floor. 2 more breaths. Okay, come back to your plank. Step your feet into bear. And put your knees down on the floor. Please do not release the tummy. Lift back up. And lower back down. And lift back up. And lower down, and do that one more time. Lift up. Now you're going to come into a small down dog. So it's going to be easy to get your feet on the floor. Just going to weight into these arms. Now bend the right knee and really push that left heel down. Feel that stretch all the way up the back of the leg. Now, if you can lift the right foot off the floor and circle that ankle while you hold that stretch on the left leg. If it's too much for your arms, don't do it. And let's switch. Let's put that right heel down, straighten out that right leg, bend the left one. Make sure you haven't pulled the head through the arms. You want to be able to see them. Left foot lifts, circle the ankle. Go the other way. Put that foot back down. Hold this for 3 more breaths. Then we're going to give our wrists and hands a little bit of a break. Push both heels down and keep the legs straight. Now lift up onto the toes. Let's hover the knees. So meet me back in your bear. Lift your head up so your neck is long. Pull in the belly. I just add a little rock forward and back. So you get that benefit of that big stretch through the pad of the foot. Just do 5 more little rocks. And let's put the knees down. So make sure your wrists are under your shoulders. We're gonna do some cat-cows. You're gonna go at your pace. I know when I round the back and I look at my knees, I kind of like to hold on to that big separation in my upper back. And you can play around with the angle by moving the hips forward or back. And then reverse it, so you drop into those shoulders, but you do not let that belly go. And just sort of oscillate between the two. I like to go really slow. So good. Okay, let's come to a neutral spine. Come onto the tops of your feet, so get off those toes. You're going to sit back on your heels with your knees open. So slide those knees open if you can. Walk the arms out. Let's try to not have the forearms touch down. I want you to stretch out the lats here. So you got wide, like your baby fingers should be off the mat. That's how far apart your hands could be. And then think about breathing and relaxing the armpits towards the floor. Keep your head up. This is building strength in the neck. That's why the forehead is not down. Keep the neck nice and long. And you can isometrically try to pull those hands towards your knees. They're not going to go. And then release it. And then re-engage that little tug. And then release it. Do it again. Nice. Now you're going to come back up onto all fours. Bring your knees back under the hips. Tuck those toes back under. Move your hips backwards so they're just hovering over the heels. We're not sitting. Walk the hands out again. Shoulder width apart or wider. Definitely not closer. The head is up. The neck is still working. You're just going to walk your hands off to the right. So I like to try to discover a stretch right around the waistband of my pants on the left side. So once you've walked the hands to the right, maybe inch them forward a tiny bit. Play around with this angle till you discover that nice little tug on the waistband. It's a great quadratus lumborum stretch. That's what you're trying to find. You might need to wiggle those arms even more. And you can create that isometric pull again, if you like. And then release it and re-engage. Keep your belly pulling up and into the spine. Now let's bring the hands back and walk them off to the left. The hips don't move, nor do they lie. I had to go there. Sorry, Sue. Okay, how awesome does this feel? You might notice you're tighter on one side, perfectly normal. Especially if you're a side sleeper. This is my tight side. Just relax and enjoy it. Breathe 5 more times. Create that isometric tug if you like. Okay, bring the hands back center. Bring them underneath the shoulders. Come off your knees, hold your bear. Just for a sec, just hold it. Okay, push the heels into the floor so you're in that small little down dog. Your legs are straight. If you can keep them straight, that's awesome. Walk baby steps with your hands back to your feet. We're going to meet in a full forward fold again. You're going to let your head go. Now, I can definitely tell that my torso is a lot closer to my legs than it was when we started. Oh, the benefits of stretching. Okay, take your hands above your knees. Help yourself come back up to standing. There you are. Whew. Okay. Pyramid stretch, one of my favorites. Step your left foot forward and keep your right leg straight. Both legs straight, actually. Walk your hands down your left side. You know I do this in 2 phases. You've done it enough with me. I take it down. When my spine is nice and long, I hold there. I keep my hips nice and square. Discovering the back of the upper leg. Let's just hold this for a few more breaths. And if you're not really feeling it, separate your feet further apart. So take your left foot, move it forward. You're still keeping your feet hip width apart so you feel stable. Okay, so now if you can, take your hands to the floor, but it's not about stressing the body. I want you to round your back and let your head go. Bend through the elbows, try not to weight into the hands. Give me 3 more big breaths. Inhale and extend to a flat back. Get the hands back on the shin so that you're back to your phase 1 of the stretch. Walk the hands up the leg. How good did that feel? Step the back foot in. Let's switch legs. And you step the feet as far apart as you can keep both heels on the floor. Walk it down. Keep your spine long. Hold this. Hips are square. Take a peek at your feet and make sure both are facing forward. Sometimes our feet want to do crazy things. You got to be the boss. 3 more big breaths, and then you're going to fold right over the leg and go into spinal flexion. Okay, here we go. Relax that head, fold over that front leg, just breathe. You can close your eyes, get lost here. Inhale, extend to a flat back, bring the hands back to the shin. You're going to slide them up the leg, come back up to standing, and move your back foot in. Turn and face the right side of your room, and let's get our feet nice and far apart. So take a look. When I say nice and far apart, I want you to feel stable, not edgy, right? So go for where you feel sort of comfortable. Now you're going to take your pinkies and just hold them by the hips. You're not pushing into the hips with them. So you're working the upper back. Give me a little fold while you hold this. Pull the belly in. And then come back up. Your glutes are really tight. Belly in, fold. Maybe the second time you go a little farther. And third time's the charm. Maybe we go a tiny bit farther. We're going to stay down here. Release the arms forward off the mat. Walk them out. Keep your spine long. Back into these lats again. Now, if you want to amp this up, think about rotating that coccyx bone of yours up towards the ceiling. So you're getting the entire posterior muscle chain here stretching. So good. Let's breathe here 3 more times. We're in your rib cage. Don't let it pop out or puff out. Just draw everything in towards your spine. Okay, we're going to bring the fingertips back onto the middle of our mat. I want you to inhale and extend to a flat back. And I want you to bend this left leg. Like you're coming into a lateral lunge. You might want to move your hands a little closer to that left foot. But just hold it here. Now take your toes on that right foot and lift them up towards the ceiling. So you're no longer on the side of the foot. Put that foot down, come back center so both legs are straight again. Walk your hands back to the middle. Walk them towards the right foot, bend the right leg. Lift your toes on the left foot up towards the ceiling. Just hold this lateral lunge. If you can, drift the hips back, of course, without falling. But you want to try to weight into that right heel. Now walk the hands back to the middle, come onto both feet again. Now you're going to go into a full fold. So you're going to let the top of the head cover right above the floor. Retract your shoulders for me. And let your spine just dangle your torso. Big, deep breaths. Inhale and extend to a flat back. Move your hips backwards. Walk your feet back center towards each other and come into a full fold. Right over those legs with your feet together. 3 big breaths. Try to get your legs straight if you can. Inhale and extend to a flat back. With your feet together, let's do a reverse swan dive. Come all the way back up to standing. Flip your palms, sweep them up, turn and face forward. There we go. Hold this. Try to lift up out of your hips. This in and of itself should feel challenging. Now, take the shoulders and try to pull them apart from each other. Try to get the arms straight. And try to get the top of the head pushing up towards the ceiling. Just do it a few more breaths. Bring your hands to heart. Nice. Whew. That's a lot of work for the arms. Step your left foot forward and your right leg back. Now I want you to get up high on the toes on the back foot. Bring the arms out. Flip the palms so they face up towards the ceiling. Now I want you to lean forward. Feel all the work go into that left leg. Open the arms out to the side while you lean forward. Keep the palms facing up. Draw them back together. Pull the elbows back. Does that not feel good? Get rid of your forward lean. Step in, same thing, other side. Left leg back. Palms are going to face up. Reach forward. Give me a lean. Weight into that right leg. Sweep those arms backwards. Get them long, like you're trying to touch both sides of the room. Hands back to heart. Get rid of your forward lean. Step back in. Take your right leg back. Really far this time. If you need to slide it, you can slide it however you get it there. It doesn't need to look good. You just got to get it back. So this is what I call a low lunge. My hips are fairly low to the ground. I'm going to lean forward. Look down at that left knee and see if you can stack it right over the heel. Just hold this for a sec. Your back heel is off the ground, but you're not super high on the toes. Now give me a little rotation to the left, just to make it interesting. Hold it here. Feel the outer part of that hip. Doing some work. I love that. Keep the belly in. Come back square with your shoulders. Now we're going to turn this into a runner's lunge. So I'm going to have you take your hands to the mat and put your right knee down. Oh, little reprieve. Now, move your hips backwards, lift the toes up on the left foot. Also, if you have a towel, that towel we used before, set it under your right knee. Like, why not be comfy? And then come forward with the hips. Your toes are still, you're using the toes on the back foot to keep you stable as you move forward and back, nice and slow. We're going to just do this one more time. And that right knee is way behind the hip, correct? Okay, hold the hips forward, bring the left hand to the inside, and let this left knee go out to the side a little bit. Keep your glutes and your tummy. I know I sound like a broken record. Keep them engaged. So easy when you're thinking about the muscle you're releasing to forget the others. Okay, bring that left hand to the outside. You're just going to put that foot in. Put your towel under the left knee. Take your right foot forward and let the hips come forward. And then move them back, toes in the front, up towards the ceiling, and just go forward and back. Slow. Okay, this time when you're forward, let's bring that right hand in, and let's let this right knee move out to the side a little bit. Just hold this for maybe 3 big breaths. Okay, bring the knee back towards the arm. Take the right hand to the outside. Slide that foot back, meet me back up in your high plank. Pull through to a down dog. Not so much that you can't see your arms. Lift your left leg up. Bend at the leg, at the knee. Open the hip and lift your knee up to the ceiling. Little work for that glute and hip. Now let's bring the left knee back down. Touch the right knee with it. And then sweep it back up and do it again. And bring the left knee to the right knee on the inside. Then sweep it back up for the last time. Put that foot down, do the same on the right. If you need to go to a child's pose in between, take it. Right leg up. Bend at the knee. Open the hip to the ceiling. Lift the knee as high as you can. Make sure you're not pulling that head through those arms. Take that right knee, connect it to the left. Sweep it back up. Do it again. Relax that foot down, come back to your plank. Put your knees down on the floor, open them up. This time you're going to take your towel for your forehead. So you're going to come onto the tops of your feet, sit back on the heels, relax the forearms down on the floor and your forehead. This is child's pose, relaxed version. Stay here for 5 more big deep breaths. Have patience to build a healthy, strong body. Okay, bring it back up. Kick your feet out to the side so you're sitting down on your butt. We're going to take the legs far apart, as far as you can. with your feet flexed. Take that butt muscle, move it out of the way. I want you to sit up nice and tall as you can. Walk the hands forward with your spine long. You might not go far, but that is okay. What's important is that you're feeling this whole inside of both legs. Hold it, keep inching those hands out. And once the hands are as far as they're going to go, see if you can round your back and lower the forearms to the floor and let the head go. Keep pulling the belly in. Okay, lift the forearms off the floor, get your spine long. Walk the hands back up. Now, as best you can, you're going to turn your shoulders to look at your right knee, to face over this leg. We're going to walk it down with a long spine like we did previously. When we're as far as we can go, I want you to try to take your left hand to the outside of the shin, or if you can reach the outside of the foot, go find it. Now, once you have it, see if you can take your right forearm down onto the floor. Getting a big stretch around that left shoulder blade. Now, to advance this, if you can, and it's not about forcing, bend your left arm, take your head down so it's just over the knee. So that takes the stretch down over that left hip. The waistband of your pants down is where you probably feel this. Let's just feel it a little more before we go to the other side. Okay, get back up however you do. You do you, I'll do me. So from a nice lengthening position, rotate both shoulders to face the left. Walk it down slowly. So now it's about the right arm reaching over to the outside of your shin or your foot, whatever you can grab. But if you're holding the foot, it's the outside of the foot. If you can, excuse me, bring your left forearm down to the floor. So this is kind of stage one of this stretch. I know for me, I'm already feeling it. So I like to kind of ease into it. So let's stay here for a few more breaths. It's such a great feeling when you find a spot that's super tight. You're like, oh, aha, I found you. Okay, so I'm going to advance this by bending my right arm and taking my face down over the knee. Keep pulling your belly in. Okay, lift the arm off the floor, walk it back up. Hello. Brings the legs back together. Shake them out. You're going to take your ankles to the corners of your mat. This is our last stretch before we sign off. You're going to bring the arms forward, sit up nice and long. Then we're going to C-curve the spine down really slowly. And this is my favorite full body stretch. I want you to get the arms out like you're making a Y. So they're not going straight back. And then try to get flat on those shoulder blades. And spread your fingers really wide. And then make a fist. Squeeze them really tight. And then open and close, and open, and close. Now lift the arms up so the wrists are just over your shoulders. Open the fingers, spread them wide. Now rotate the palms to face the back of the room, and then rotate them all the way around to face both sides of your room. And let's just do this a few more times. And you can do this with your hands further apart. Now, palms are going to face each other. You're going to lift your head, tuck your chin, suck in the belly, roll up slowly. You're going to round the back and dive through your legs. Forearms can touch the floor if they can. Hang out here 3 more breaths and then we say goodbye. Okay, bring it back up. Bring those feet back together. Come up onto the toes. However you want to get up is your choice. Take a big deep breath. And I thank you very much for your power and strength. I hope you enjoyed the class as much as I did. I hope you feel fabulous. Hello, hello.